it. So we're going to do a little bit of a back bending practice. And if you have a strap, I somehow lost my strap. You can have it handy. I'm going to use a little towel if I need it. And then if you have blocks, grab them. If you don't have props, don't worry. Just don't worry, okay? But we're going to start on blocks here. So you can have the first block, medium or low. The second block is going to be at the higher setting than this one. If you don't have blocks, you're just going to start on your back. Like I said, don't worry about it. Not the end of the world. If you're using blocks, shoulder blades onto that first block and then back of the head on the second block. And we're going to start with your knees bent. And then just see if you can soften the shoulders open. Kat, I'm Maeve. I didn't say my name. And then from this position with the knees bent, lift the front hip points toward the ribs just a little bit, and then slowly extend the legs out. And then strengthen the legs. Push the heels down, draw the kneecaps up. When you do that, your glutes start to engage a little bit here. And then see if you can shorten from your belly to your pubic bone just gently without being aggressive in it. And then shorten from the front ribs to the hip points, again, without being aggressive about it. Take a couple more breaths here. And then reach the arms straight up to the sky. Straight up to the sky. And then stay there. A couple breaths there. Yeah. Beautiful. I do now. And then moving slowly, find this connection in the front body. Keep the legs strong. And then start to sweep the arms overhead, thumbs toward the ground. And just notice where that stop point is, where if the arms go too high, the back arches. And you want to try to keep the low back neutral, let the upper back open. And then work the arms like you're squeezing a ball between your hands. Hug the triceps toward your ears, and then gently push the biceps away. Smooth out your breath. So even in this work, finding a rhythm and finding an ease to your breath. And then inhale, bring the arms back to the sky. And then exhale, release the arms down. Carefully bend the knees. If you're on blocks, you're just going to lift up or roll over and come off of the blocks. Bring the blocks, if you're using them, to the top of your mat. And then hands on the ground. Cat and cow. Inhale. Lift the heart. Lift the tail. Broaden the collarbone. Exhale. Push the ground away. Spread the shoulder blades. Drop the head. Drop the tail. Round your spine. Inhaling. Draw up with the heart. Up with the tailbone. And then exhale, round. Keep that going. Come to neutral. Bring the forearms down to the ground. And if you want, you can do this on blocks, but get the forearms down. And then just the heart pulls forward. Scoop the belly in. And then round the back. And then inhale, pull forward. Try not to lift the tailbone up. And then exhale, round the back. Inhale, heart through. And then exhale. 2 more. 1 more. And then elbows on the ground or elbows on the blocks. Keep a sense of that lift in the belly. And then lift the hands to the sky if it's okay. And then drop through the shoulders. And you're not just collapsing down. You've got to give energy down to receive it back. I forgot to put my light on so we have a little more visual. Hopefully that helps. And start to feel the triceps gently pressing in, the biceps gently pushing out. And then push down to rise out. If you want to keep using blocks, if you're using them, come into downward facing dog on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, don't worry. I'm going to actually move mine out of the way and go hands on the ground. And then taking some of the space we created in the shoulder girdle, some of the space we created in the spine, and applying it here. Some of the contraction of the belly and the front ribs, and keeping it here. And then right knee comes into your chest, round the upper back, and then place your right foot forward. Put your left knee down. And we want a pretty short Anjaneyasana, so not super long, a pretty short one. And then bring your hands to your hips, roll the shoulders back, soften. And then take the arms up. Squeeze the left glute, push down into the right foot. Right foot pushes down and pulls toward the back of the mat energetically. Back foot pushes down and pulls toward the front of the mat energetically. One more breath in, and then release the hands down. Tuck the back toes, lift the front leg, and then lift the back leg, and then melt over the front leg any amount. This can also go back into half splits. So if this feels better, come here instead. I'm going to give you that option. You decide. Rebend the front leg. Good. Put the back knee down. And then take the back foot if it's there for you. Push the foot into your hand. Squeeze the left glute a bit, so we're opening up the front of the left thigh, as well as the hip flexors on that side. And then roll the right shoulder open. Maybe hug the elbow back. This is where a towel or a strap comes in handy. If you want to try getting the foot, but you can't actually reach it, you're like doing one of these jobbies, you can loop a towel or a strap around your foot and then just hold that. There's never any pressure to take this foot though. Take one more full breath in, and then bring the right hand around, tuck the left toes. Step to plank. Take a breath in. With control, lower down to your belly. Bring your hands to the ground, drop your forehead to your hands. Scoop your belly off of the ground. Right leg extends back. Work the leg crazy straight. Stretch the toes for the back of the mat. Try not to compress the ribs down or the belly down. Good. Push the left foot down. Get a little higher with the leg. Go a little longer. And then release it down. Second side. Push the right foot down. Lift the left leg up and back. It's more important to go long than up. More important to go long than up. We're creating space. Release that leg down. Both feet are going to lift up. Keep the belly lifting away from the ground. It might not physically lift off the ground, but it's an energy. Get longer, get longer. Strengthen out those legs. One more breath in. Release the legs down, downward facing dog, press it back. Take a breath in. And then left knee into your chest, shift forward, round that upper back, put the left foot down. Right knee comes down, hands to your hips, push down into the left foot, push down into the right knee, the right foot, squeeze inward. Take the arms up. Right hip, working like crazy here. So we're opening from the knee all the way up into the belly. Do more breaths. And then bring the hands down. Tuck the back toes. Either shift back to half splits or lifts. You decide which one feels better to you. Soft, steady breath in and out through the nose. And then shift forward. Right hand plants, turn to the left. So allowing yourself a nice twist here. Right hip is still squeezing, or squeezing again, I should say. And then reach back and take that foot if it feels good. Left hand to right foot, or use a strap or a towel. Push down into this right hand to get more opening in the heart. So starting to feel this back bending, the shoulder blades pressing into the heart. One more full breath in, and then exhale, release. Bring the hand around, step back to plank. Strong breath in all the way to your belly with your exhale. Tops of the feet push down, hands next to the rib cage. Just the upper body lifts cobra. Push the feet down. Hug the elbows in. Keep the low back long. So if that means that you're lower down, so be it. So keep the low back long. I don't want any pain in your low back, please. One more inhale. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Look at your hands. Walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Lengthen halfway with your inhale. And then fold down with your exhale. Rise, lengthen, lift to the sky. And your exhale brings your hands into your heart. Stay here. Inhale. Reach the arms up. Stay here. Exhale, bring your hands into your heart. Just building a rhythm to the breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. We start to move with this. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, bowing forward. Inhale, halfway. Step to plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Upper body and lower body lift. Reach the arms back like you want to touch your heels. Float your feet up off the ground. Stretch the feet further back. Stretch the heart, the head forward. Locust, Shalabhasana. Pull the hands toward each other without touching. One more inhale. Hands and feet to the ground, exhale. Inhale to plank. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Look where you're going, feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Rise, inhale. And then draw your hands into your heart. Exhale. Inhale, rise up and open. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Step to plank, jump to chaturanga, jump to plank, lower down either halfway for chaturanga or the floor. And then cobra, locust, up dog, you choose. And then downward facing dog, exhale. So all those back bends are interchangeable. Every time we go through a vinyasa, you can lower all the way to your belly if you prefer cobra or locust pose. If you like upward facing dog, you can still lower to the ground and come into up dog from there, but you choose along that path what feels best. Lift your heels, inhale. Bend your knees, bring your feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise, inhale. And then bring your hands into your heart. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, bowing forward. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, cobra, locust. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg stretches back. Open up your hips, bend your right knee, and then square off your shoulders. Make sure that this left shoulder is not dipping down. Square your shoulders to the top of your mat. Try to pull your right heel toward your sitting bones. And then lift the knee a little higher. Pull this right shoulder toward the floor if it's wanting to open upward toward the sky. Really stretch from the knee to the hip, so knee away from the hip. One more inhale. And then exhale, come around through center, place your foot between your hands. Crescent pose, rising up. Beautiful. Pause here. Find that lift in the front hips. Start to find a squeeze in the left glute, the catch in the front heel, in this hip. And then right elbow bends. Good. So you're supporting with your left hand. Strap or a towel gives you more access here. Like so. If you can get your hands together and you're not suffering, go for it. No suffering now. That's the asterisk in the room. No suffering. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here. You've got this. You're going to stretch the right arm up. And then slide this left hand behind your back. You can drop a strap if you've got it. You're going to reach forward and then come into half moon. So if you have a block, put it down so you've got a nice, strong foundation here. Good. So allowing this right hand to take some weight here. And then bend the left leg. Try to pull that left heel toward the left sitting bone. This is perfect. This doesn't have to change. Draw the front ribs into the back ribs. Shorten from belly button to pubic bone. Yep. And that's going to give you more of an opening in the front of that left hip. Keep pulling the heel toward your booty and then reach back for your foot if you want. And then push your foot into your hand like crazy. Start to broaden across the chest more from that pressure of the foot pushing away. Good. You're going to come around to chair. Bring your hands into your heart with your exhale. Left arm outside your right thigh, and then twisting to your right. And so as you're here twisting, use your breath. Inhale to expand, exhale to go deeper, but find that little bit of a back bend in the heart. Find that little bit of cobra in the heart. One more inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Come halfway up with your inhale. Come to plank. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your right arm out to the right side. Roll onto your right side. If you want, bend your left leg. Get a nice opener here. Give some pressure to your right hand. And then come back to center. Over to the other side. Left arm out, look to the right. Roll onto your side. Come back to center. Hands next to the rib cage, cobra. Upward facing dog, you choose. Work the thighs up toward the sky. Work the length of the legs, not just pushing the knees to the sky, but feeling the length from the top of the knee to the front of the hip. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Left leg up and back with your inhale. Open the hips, but notice how this right shoulder wants to dip down. Keep lifting it up. Bend the left knee if it feels okay, and then really actively try to pull the heel into the sitting bone. So you're starting to activate that hamstring, that glute, and then lift the knee a little higher and draw it back without collapsing into the right shoulder. Inhale, draw back up. Exhale, place your foot between your hands. Stay high in the right toes, rise up for crescent pose. Put a little bend in the knee to kind of lift the pelvis up. And then it's the same thing. We're not just pushing the knee up. We're trying to lengthen the front of that leg. Find your center. And then left elbow bends. Support the elbow with the right hand, or grab a strap or towel. Maybe bring the right hand behind your back. And then find Gomukhasana arms. Engage that right hip. And then if you've got the kind of bind here, just soften the right hand behind the back. Good. We're going to come up and over. Half moon. So if you have a block, I would suggest using it so that you can be really grounded and rooted down. If you don't have a block, maybe a water bottle, something. Now breathe into your low back. Breathe into your forearm or your hand or whatever's behind your back. So that rather than puffing forward, breathe back. So we protect the back by keeping it long. And then bend the right leg and actively pull that foot toward your hip. Good. And then reach for the foot if it's there for you. And then let the shoulder go for the ride. Push the foot away. And then the right hip is working like crazy to stabilize you here. And so is the left hip, the standing leg. But you're engaging that right hip. This one, this top one. Yes, a couple more breaths. Don't be afraid to fall over. And then come into chair. Hands into your heart. Right arm outside your left thigh, twisting to the left. And then can you find a little bit of that back bend in your heart? Lifting, feeling the shoulder blades, lifting the heart forward. And then come back into chair. And forward fold. Halfway inhale. Take it back to plank. Lower again to your belly. Bend both of your knees. Pull your feet toward your hips. Pull the heart forward. Pull the thumbs toward each other. Hug the elbows in. Curl the heart forward. Stay here or reach back for your feet. Dhanurasana. Push the feet away. Keep the low back long. Your knees can go wider than your hips if it feels better on your body. No compression in your low back. Be spacious. Slowly release the legs, tuck the toes, forearms come down, come into a forearm plank. Shorten from belly button to pubic bone. Glutes are engaged, heart is pulling forward, gaze is a little forward. Push the floor away. And then walk into dolphin. You can lace your hands if it feels better in dolphin. So in your mind, if you can come back to when we were lying either on the floor in the beginning of class or on the blocks, and we started to take the arms overhead and there was that sense of the block or the floor giving the shoulders some pressure into the heart, we're looking for that here. So shoulder blades push into the heart, but then soften. Front ribs toward hips. Belly button to pubic bone. Lift the crease of the hips higher. So when you start to pull the belly in a little bit, when you start to find some engagement in the torso, you get a little deeper stretch in the shoulder girdle. It can be hard to access that if your shoulders are really tight anyway, but it will help keep you supported and take this completely out of your back with any luck. Good, start to take the gaze forward. If you shortened your stance at all, walk the feet back a little bit. And then using one at a time, knees down if you need to, rise up to plank, and then chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. And down dog, exhale. Right leg straight back with an inhale. And then knee to your chest, exhale. Place the right foot forward, turn the left heel down, Virabhadrasana 1, straight up the center. Find the strength and the length in the back leg the same way we had in like Cobra or Shalabhasana. So not just pushing the knee back, but lengthening the leg. Big bend in the front leg. Front hip points lift. Feet rooting and feeling pretty much balanced between the inner and the outer foot, which can be pretty tricky, but work toward it. And then you're engaging that left glute a bit. So we continue to open the front of the left hip here, just as we did in crescent, in Anjaneyasana. Take another breath in, and then bring your hands behind your hips. Lace your fingers. Inhale, take your heart up to the sky, and then bow forward, humble warrior. Now, did your back leg go to sleep? Did your glute go to sleep? Wake it back up. Cha-cha. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Release your hands down to the ground. Lift this right leg up and back. Open the hip, bend the knee. Maybe stay there. Maybe get lighter in this right hand and flip into wild thing. So both glutes are supporting you up. This is kind of like a crooked Urdhva Dhanurasana. One more breath in, and then come around. Lower to your forearms. Step the left foot a little closer to the elbows, and then right leg lifts up. And then push the forearms down. Find as much length and space here as you can. Maybe move your chest toward the left thigh a little bit more. And then release the foot down. Same thing, second side. So instead of thinking of like how to take this up, think about how to be here. Push down into the forearms. Move the chest toward the thigh. Stretch the leg up. Yes, it's almost like a standing split, just on your forearms. And then step that foot down and back. If you shorten the stance with me, lengthen it out, lift to plank, and then chaturanga. Rise and open, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg straight back, inhale. Place your left foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Big bend in the front knee, strong back leg. Front hip points lift, tailbone softens, right glutes engaged. Yes. Good. Don't be afraid to play with the length of your stance or the width of your stance to give yourself more stability. If it feels awkward, sometimes it's because it's new. This pose is probably not new to you. So if it feels awkward, maybe you just need to adjust it a little bit. Power up those arms. Don't worry about your shoulders lifting up. Power up the arms. Feel the shoulder blades move wide on the back. Breathe into your back rib cage. One more breath in. Keep that power. Bring the hands behind the hips. Lace the fingers the opposite way from what you did last time, and lift the heart. Bow forward. Keep that right leg engaged. Keep that right glute engaged, even though now your weight's shifted forward. And then emphasis on opening the shoulders, on stretching the knuckles away from the shoulders. Yes, yes, yes. Pull the spine forward, release your hands to the ground. Sweep the left leg back, open the hip, enjoy a stretch in three-legged dog, or slowly, keeping that heel pulling close in, flip it over into wild thing. Inhale, come back around. And then this time, just chaturanga. Rise. And downward facing dog, exhale. Pause and breathe. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, bring your knee forward. Place your right foot between your hands. Crescent pose. Inhale. Bend the right elbow. Maybe take Gomukhasana arms. Take a breath in. And then tip forward. Half moon. So you can keep this left hand behind your back. Use a block if you've got it. And then maybe find Shavasana. Maybe use the bottom hand to find Shavasana if you don't really need it there. If you feel really stable, go for it. And then into chair with your inhale. Draw your hands into your heart, exhale. Left arm outside the right thigh, open it up. Maybe take the hand down, the arm up. Maybe take a side crow if you want, bringing your hands down and then lifting up. We're going to come back to chair in the center. Left knee lifts up. And then step that left foot back, kind of hinge forward. Virabhadrasana 1, inhale. Hands behind your hips, exhale. Heart to sky, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway. Root the palms. Wild thing, opening up. Or just three-legged dog. And then bring your right forearm to the ground. Right forearm to the ground. Come around, left forearm to the ground. Walk in dolphin. Right leg lifts. Now if you want, maybe start to take some hops here. And then back to plank and chaturanga. Rise, open, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Left leg straight back, inhale. Exhale, place your left foot top of the mat. Crescent pose, rising up. Just trust. Bend the left elbow, it's in you. Maybe the right arm comes around. Breathe in, lift the heart. And then exhale, coming around. Left hand block or floor. Slide that right hand behind the back. And then bend the right leg. And then take the foot if you want, top or bottom arm. So right hand to foot, or maybe left hand comes to foot. If you look toward the ground, it helps to ground you and root you. And then push the foot away. Engage that right hip. Amazing. And then into chair. Hands into your heart. Right arm outside the left side. Twist to your left, please. Maybe open the arms up. Maybe bring the hands down to the ground. And lift off for crow. Scooping the belly up. Or side crow, I should say. But you know what I mean. A crow variation. Back to chair in the center. Right knee lifts. And then step your right foot to the back of your mat. Lift up, warrior one. Hands come behind, switch the lace, heart to sky, inhale. And then bow. Halfway, hands to the ground. Open up wild thing or three-legged dog. And then come around, left forearm to the ground. Right forearm to the ground. Walking toward dolphin. And then left leg lifts if it's okay. And then maybe taking a couple little hops here. And if you find forearm balance, if you find balance, fantastic. If you don't, who cares? Yeah, I see you. Beautiful. And then lifting up to plank and chaturanga. Open and rise, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. So, so good. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, right leg straight back. Bring your right knee toward your right elbow, and then bring your right foot toward your left elbow. So you're moving the shin forward. Hold here and breathe. Hold and breathe. Left glute working. And then place that shin down, wherever it lands. Release the back toes. Push into the back foot. If you have blocks, bring them next to you so you've got some support here. I know you can't see because my color and the mat is kind of the same, but I'm lifting up here. So I'm going to really exaggerate it so that you can see. I'm up pretty high. Not sure why it's so dark, but all right. So we're not down in pigeon, we're lifting up. Push the back foot down. Push the front foot down. The front shin down. If it's okay, arms up to the sky. Maybe a little back bend. This is the shape of Urdhva Dhanurasana, that back foot in the shoulder girdle, in the spine. Good. Control it down. Bring the forearms forward. Good. So, so good. This is perfect. This doesn't have to change. If you want, bend the back leg, and then left hand reaches back for your left foot. See if you can get the pinky side of your foot. And then you guessed it. Push your foot into your hand. Engage that left hip. So when I say hip, I mean like your booty, your glutes. And if it helps you to bring your right hand over to the left for some more stability, go for it. I want you to be stable here so that you have some freedom. Good. If you have the left foot, release it. Everybody tuck your toes. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift the heart, stay here. You're just gonna slide this right leg back to meet the left leg. We're coming into upward facing dog on the balls of the feet. Good, shorten belly button to pubic bone. So if you're feeling like you're sagging down and your low back is taking the brunt of it, pull in the opposite direction, pull the belly back. And it's not just pulling the belly back, there's a shortening here. Last breath in, and then downward facing dog. Left leg goes straight back. Bring your left knee toward your left elbow, your right foot toward your right elbow. Take a few breaths here, work the back leg strong. Squeeze that right glute. And then place your shin down. Good. Blocks if you need them. We're lifting upward. So you're pushing into the back foot. You're pushing into the front foot, the pinky side of that foot. So you don't want your foot turning up toward the sky. As much as you can, push the pinky side down. I know in this lifted position, there's more of a tendency for the foot to turn out, and that's totally fine. But you're fighting that. Maybe the arms come up. Right hip working. And then slowly come around. Forearms come down. So now you're sinking down a little bit. You don't have to change this. You can stay here. If it's okay, bend the back leg. You can bring the left hand across right away if that gives you more stability to actually even get the foot. And then push the foot into the hand. Gently pull back. So you're getting an opening in the shoulder and in the hip flexor. Right hip is working. One more inhale. And then release and come around. All right, hands under your shoulders, push into the toes, step the left foot to meet the right foot. Same thing, upward facing dog on the balls of the feet. Good, now bring your chin to your chest, bend your knees, roll back through your spine, pause. Lift your heels, bend your knees, roll forward through your spine, come into up dog on the balls of the feet. Pull the biceps back. Bend the knees, chin to chest. Roll it back. Two more on your own, just rolling through your spine. And then pause and down dog. Bring your knees down to the ground. And then rise up onto your knees. Shins pushing down, feet pushing down. If you want to tuck your toes, tuck your toes. Contain, belly button to pubic bone. Contain across the front of the body. I'm going to turn towards you here. This way, gentle containment here. So when I say contain, it's not like you're doing a crunch. It's like, I'm going to keep this really aware. I'm going to keep an awareness of this area, and I'm not just going to dump into it, okay? So I'll actually go partially on an angle. Lift the heart. Draw the elbows back. Contain gently. And then just lean back a little bit. Like you want to get your elbows to your feet. We're not going to go there though, don't worry. Reach back. Maybe you find your heels. Right away, if you know that you're like in a panicked position there, just stay, come up a little higher. If it's okay, hands come to the heels, then move the hips forward, keeping a little containment here. Open across the collarbones. Allow the shoulders to glide, or the shoulder blades to glide into the back. So that sensation we had lying on the floor and turning to the side and the shoulder blade moved into the back, do that here. Inhale, rising up, push into the seat, and then sink back. If your knees aren't happy here, come forward. Beautiful. We're going to do one more of those. Inhale, rising up. Shorten. So we got a little change, a little add-on. Lift the heart. Start to lean back just a little bit. And then bring the right hand to your right heel. And then left arm lifts up. So we've got a camel twist. You're just turning a little to the side. Pull the heart away from the back of the legs, away from the calves, away from the heels. Beautiful. Come back up through center. Recenter. And then off to the other side. So this is really spacious and probably actually feels easier than the first camel. So make it bigger. Maybe reach that arm further overhead. We're just making shapes here and they repeat in similar postures. Inhale, rise up. And then bring it down. If you have two blocks, grab them. If you do not, you will do this on the floor. You're going to put your blocks down. About hips distance. It can be wider, it can be narrower. Feet come onto the blocks. And then kind of scoot your butt in toward the blocks, but you don't need to be right on top of the blocks. You don't need to touch your heels. None of that. Push the elbows down, push the triceps down, push the shoulders down, broaden the chest, and then rise up into bridge pose. Contain the front body. Yes, you are working your glutes here. Maybe lace the hands and draw the shoulders under. One more breath in. And then releasing down with your exhale. So if that felt good on the blocks, you can repeat that. You can also move the blocks off. If you don't have them at all, you're good. We're going to go another round in bow pose, or if you want, Urdhva Dhanurasana. You do not need to do this on the blocks if you don't feel stable here. I would prefer, if you don't feel stable, get thee to the ground with your feet. But if it feels good, it gives you a little bit more space to expand. Bridge, same setup as we just did, or hands come up by the shoulders. You can stop on the head if you need to. Don't worry about pulling the elbows in. The elbows will come in when they come in. And then rise up and lengthen open. And gently contain the front of the body. So the back body stays long here. Work the legs real strong. Glutes are holding you up. Back ribs are holding you up. Hands, feet, arms, legs, breath. Take one more inhale. And then chin to chest. And then release it down. And just take a pause. See how that felt on your body. And if that was good, you can repeat it. You can repeat whatever you did. You can move into another version. Or I'm going to give you one more option. So if you want to watch first, hands come by the ears. Come to the crown of the head. Forearm. Lace the fingers without getting your ponytail. And then opening here. And maybe extending the legs out. Viparita Dandasana. So channeling all those dolphins you just did. We're just making shapes. To come out, walk the feet back in. Put the head gently down. Hand. Pick the head up. And release. So good. Happy baby, please. Just stay here, breathe. Pulling down. Hands pulling down. Pushing away. Feet pushing away. So the hands pull down, the arms pull down, the feet, the legs push away. In that opposition, we create space. the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana, release the feet down. Bring our hands to your inner groin if it feels okay, the inner thighs. Do not feel the need to push your knee down. So my right knee sits at least a half an inch higher than my left knee. I can feel it because my left leg is in more contact. You're not going to see me jamming this right leg down. That's not going to fix anything. That's just going to pull the left side up. So just breathe into your body. Just notice the nuances. Maybe press the feet together a little more and see if from there you can draw the knees a little broader and find more length from the inner thigh, from the inner groin to the inner knee. And as you push the feet together and maybe a little bit down, you might feel your glutes engage a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. Allowing the hip flexors to release, again, just a bit more in this new and different position from how we've been releasing them. And then bring your hands to your thighs, help your legs up. And then take your left leg on top of your right leg. And then take the knees to the right, left arm out to the left. Take a big breath in. If it feels good, open your mouth, let it go. As you're here, maybe take a little pelvic tilt, lengthening the tailbone toward the back of the knees, shortening from belly button to pubic bone and just giving your low back a little more length. Come back to center. And then left foot on the floor, right leg crosses. Drop the knees to the left, right arm out to the side. Take a big inhale. If it feels good, exhale out the mouth. And then just as we did on the other side, if it feels good, or maybe try it, is just lengthen that low back. Take the tailbone toward the feet, toward the back of the knees, and just kind of gently scoop the belly, shortening belly button to pubic bone, front ribs to belly button. Almost like you're doing like a little mini crunch. So reversing all that back bending we've done. And then come back to center. Shavasana or seated meditation. You choose what feels best to you. And then just allow your eyes to soften, whether the eyelids are closed or not. Allow your body to become heavier, your breath to become softer. And use this time, use this moment to receive your practice, to absorb all of the work you just did in a state of surrender and ease. allow yourself to stay still and just come back to your breath. In this last moment here of stillness, just acknowledge that this practice is a celebration of yourself, an acknowledgement of your place in the world and what you add. When you're ready, reach your arms overhead. If it feels good, arch your back, stretch your legs long, and then catch your knees. You can roll to your side, you can rock up to seated, just find your way to sitting however you feel comfortable. And then once you are seated, bring your hands together at your heart. Anjali Mudra, gratitude, love, honor. Turn it to yourself. Take a breath in. Turn it to your fellow yogis, the rest of the world. Exhale, bow your mind to your heart. Rise, inhale, eyes open gently. Thank you for your practice. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know how you feel.